Prestige worldwide. Wide.
Prestige worldwide.
Prestige Worldwide welcomes you to the following presentation of the League of Extraordinary Dicks.
Hello and welcome to the L.E.D. Week 7 review. And guys, we have another special guest. This time, it's Mr. Peeping Tomlinsons. Brendan himself. What's going on, buddy?
Give myself some applause on that.
Yeah. You doing all right?
How much? How's it going with you guys?
Good, man. I'm glad to have you. I guess this is Cody's get again. I guess you talked to Brendan.
We set this up with Brendan, and if you hadn't seen last week's episode, it was a little different from what we normally do, and we had a good time. So it was when Brendan asked to be on, I thought it was a good opportunity to do it again because it's just had to switch things up a little bit, go to a different direction. I like it.
Mr. Stone.
Yeah, glad to be on.
How's Mr. Stoneface doing down there, Drew for commission? You doing all right, buddy? You look like you're about to murder somebody. Yep, that's a smile of a murder.
It's Halloween season.
Drew, you're doing great. I already know why you're doing great. We'll talk about that next week. Everybody's in good health. Everybody in good spirits. So,
What happened?
So really quickly, we're going to do the same. Pretty
Did
much
something
the same.
happen at 8:24?
Was that? What do you say?
I said, did something happen at 8:24?
I mean, 8:24 on a random Tuesday. But
we can't talk about it until next week. So
yeah, we can't talk about it. All right, so we're going to basically follow the same formula as we did last week with Russ, and just kind of go briefly over Week 7 stuff, and then go into talking to our guest. So really quickly, I'm going to run down the scores from last week, and then we'll go into what we thought our game of the week was, and then we'll go from there. So first one I got here is Pina Cornflakes beat Chicken Little Flea Flicker 131-105. Carolina Rain beat Playa Haters to remain undefeated.
That's the first
106-79. Fourth and Schlong defeats Steel City 103-89. Dirty Skivvies beats One-Eyed Monsters 115-105. Grizzly Adams Beers falls to Hughes Hefner 134-87. And my man Bowen finally got a win 103-86 over our guest, which I think you were missing. Were you missing players this week or no?
Well, not that they sat out, but they just decided not to play.
They just laid an egg.
Yeah.
So out of those, Brendan, I'm going to let you go ahead and get the first dibs on this. What was your game of the week, Week 7?
It's got to be Dirty Skivvies and One-Eyed Monsters. I mean, there wasn't really any other games that were that close, and Jeff had a chance going into Monday night, and just Joe's team is just good. I mean, they're just flat out good. So, yeah, I mean, that's my pick for the game of the week.
I'll also go with that for my game of the week. I was watching this one pretty closely. This game was decided when Brock Purdy threw that last interception. There were several times where throughout that Monday night game, both of them were within a point of each other. McCaffrey got going a little bit late. He was a little bit of a slow start in the first half, but when he got going, that kind of opened up the gap a little bit. But Jeff was in this game up until the very end with 2 interceptions from Brock Purdy that kind of put it out of reach for him. But it was a great game to watch.
It's supposed to be. I mean, yeah. It's the only one that came down to Monday night. So, I mean, Cody's and Matt's came pretty close. I hate for Matt that Bijan just came down with some illness or whatever. Other than that, I mean, yeah, congrats on 7-0, Cody. I don't know if we've ever had 7-0 before.
I don't know. We've had long win streaks within the season, but I don't know if we've had a 7-0 start.
I mean, just to start the season.
Yeah. Really quickly, the Bijan Robinson, was that even announced before game, or did they just think that he was going to play? Because I didn't understand that. I even texted Drew that on Sunday.
I don't think they really announced it beforehand.
Yeah.
Not that
Brendan-
I remember. It was like after the game in press conference. He was like, "Yeah, I had a headache."
Yeah, Brendan's right. They're actually doing an NFL investigation into it because he was not on the injury report. He wasn't a healthy scratch or anything like that. And when you get a player like that who's as high profile as is, and they looked into it because he should have been out there more. But he literally just said, I went to bed with a headache Saturday night, or went to bed with a headache Saturday night, and then woke up with it on Sunday, and that's why they didn't play him.
Gotcha. It just seemed a little odd. I mean, I'm not saying that Matt could have done anything to possibly beat you, because I still think he would have started that second running back, which was Mason, which didn't do anything. So I think he still would have won, but at least gave Matt a fighting chance if he would have known there was a sickness or an illness or something like that going into Sunday.
Oh, yeah, he would have played Algier, who put up almost 13 points.
12 points. Yeah, almost 13 points. So it could have been a little different. I'm not saying I don't think he still definitely wouldn't have won, but at least it would have been,
Oh, it would have been very, very close for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so Cody, go ahead and injury report. What you got for us?
The Week 7 injury report, fortunately, not a ton of new injuries. Though I guess probably the headliner would probably be the couple of Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson, they list him as a shoulder/concussion. I heard Brady Quinn have an interesting take on this today. We can discuss that here in a little bit, but he's just recovering back from that shoulder injury, possible concussion. They honestly don't know. He was cleared from concussion protocol to go back to the game. He just didn't. So, and then the most notable ones, I would say, probably are Jerome Ford. He's got a high ankle sprain. Adam Schefter's saying it's not severe. He's probably gonna miss about 1 or 2 games. And then the last bigger name would be Christian Watson. He has had a knee and a foot injury. So those are probably the biggest names that affect fantasy lineups for this particular league.
All right. So to this portion of the video of the podcast, we get to do a little fun with Brendan. Do a little Q&A for the guy.
All right, let's go.
Anybody want to start it off? Cody, you got any questions for me?
I did prepare a series of questions. They're all personal questions, I guess, but some Halloween questions, some sports questions, food questions. So we'll jump into it. I had a chance to talk to you before the draft the night before at the bar. We went to the old Armor up in Kannapolis and had a good time. I was pretty interested to hear what you're doing these days on the hockey front. Can you tell us what you've been doing? Because you're up in Baltimore now, Baltimore area.
Yeah, I'm like right in between, about halfway in between Baltimore and DC. As far as hockey goes, I'm playing 3 different ball hockey teams and then also roller hockey. For ball hockey, I actually just finished up in September in the National Ball Hockey League. We had the national championship up in New Jersey. Unfortunately, I didn't get it again this year, but last year we won the whole thing. So it was a great experience. There's about 50 teams there and teams from all over the country, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought it was really interesting because I didn't realize that there's there's that big of a hockey network for rollerball. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either until I was playing in a couple on a team down in Charlotte, and just a little pickup type league at Waymer Park, and they said, "Hey, we're putting a team together for the NBHL. You want to be on it?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? Let's see, give it a go, see how it goes." And then found out there's 3 different tiers and a women's tier, and there's teams from all over the country. There's players that play for Team USA and go and play in Czech Republic and overseas and play for, U23 Team USA all the way up to Masters Team USA. So there's guys all the way up to 50, 55 years old that are playing.
That's very cool.
Come on.
What do you play? What position do you play?
Left wing and center. That's
Are
what
you
I
a scorer or are you an assist guy?
more so an assist guy, but I'll put some in. Roller hockey, I'm definitely a scorer though.
Nice.
Yeah, but I like to be physical too. So
Don't we all? Wait, what? No,
make some
Yeah.
penalties here and there. Actually, last night I got ejected from my roller hockey game, so that was interesting.
Brendan, do you always enjoy drafting Justin Herbert? Do you jerk off to Justin Herbert
Oh,
with
absolutely,
how much you draft him?
absolutely. Why wouldn't I enjoy drafting him? Dude's got a cannon. He's got model looks and a cannon. Perfect quarterback.
I think since,
I love how he threw his
since
model
he came out,
looks.
Yeah. By the way, you're right. I do
think
have
he
a
said-
poster of him above my bed.
I figured. I think since he's joined the league that you've drafted him every year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember if I drafted him or picked him up off of waiver wire the first year because he wasn't starting right away. But I had him on my team one way or the other.
So one thing, a
And then,
comment
yeah,
I can
every
make
after
about
that.
that one is since I'm finishing up with the league like historical stats, and I can tell you from at 2021, Justin Herbert was your highest scoring player, and 2022, Justin Herbert was your highest scoring player. So he's definitely a fixture on the old Peeping Tomlinson roster.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Season ends today. Cody, is he in? He's in,
I actually
right?
have
Six.
that written down somewhere. Yes, he's the 6th seed.
He's a 6 seed. Okay. With your team going into, let's say you ended and you were in the playoffs right now,
Mhm.
right? You get into the playoffs. Are you comfortable with your team going all the way? Or do you think you need one or two pieces to go?
Honestly, I think I need one or two pieces. Probably one. Just depends on if my guys show up. I could definitely use one piece, possibly two. But yeah, I mean, you can't really with this league. You're never comfortable in
No.
going in the playoffs. I mean, you just look at Cody's team, Joe's team, Drew's team, your team. I mean, all these teams are sneakily loaded, so you're never comfortable. That's why, each week I'm sending out offers trying to better my team and just trying to get people talking and see what I can get. But yeah, you're never comfortable, and if you're comfortable, you shouldn't be.
So I'm not entirely sure if we discussed this last week with Russ, but I'm pretty sure we said Brendan is like the one dude that's going to shoot his shot, no problem. If it doesn't stick, he don't care. He just keeps going with it. So
Yeah, I mean, why not? And like Cody and I were talking about before the draft. I mean, especially last year. Last year, I just got so many injuries. I was just firing off offers left and right, and over half of them, I know you're not going to accept them, but I'm trying to get a dialogue going to see where we can get with it.
So, and as we touched on last week, I guess me personally, if you're going to have the trade discussions, I feel like the person should, if you want something off my team, you need to make the offer first. Like not just be like, hey, what do you want for this? Like, no, I need an offer, because to me that sets the baseline of where we can work from, and that's not just you Brendan. That's for everyone. I feel like you should be like, oh, what do you want for this? Like, well, make me an offer. We can deconstruct it, make a new offer, and try to work something out.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. That's why I send out these offers.
So, I would like for you to tell us about your transition from being a Rams fan to a Chargers fan, or because from my understanding, you were a Rams fan first, then a Chargers. So if you could just, I obviously there's some things that happen outside of your control to make that. So if you could just tell us about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in St. Louis, and the Rams actually moved there, I think, in '93, if I'm not mistaken. It was either '93 or '94. And I was born in 1995, so they had been there up until they moved back to LA, they were there my whole life. So I was always a Rams fan. But when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I was playing an arcade game. I forget which one, with the joystick and everything. And I saw the Chargers logo and liked it. And that's pretty much how I became a Chargers fan. So I was a fan of both at the same time. And it kind of worked out because the Rams were in the NFC, Chargers were in the AFC. Fast forward to...
Are you a fan of both in real life?
14, 15, when the Rams moved to LA, back to LA. And, Stan Kroenke did some really shady stuff to get him to move and stuff like not paying the PSL holders back their money that they sold them, tickets and everything for the upcoming season, knowing they were moving. And there was a big whole lawsuit and everything. So Kroenke just kind of really screwed over the city of St. Louis. So I was done with the Rams after that. Still rooting for the players, the ones that were there, like Aaron Donald. But yeah, it was a pretty easy transition to be a full-time Chargers fan after that.
And so now they're in the same building. And
not happy about that, but yeah. Yeah, Chargers should have never moved from San Diego.
Brandon, I don't know if you heard me. Do you play for both sides now in real life?
I do what?
Next question, please.
Cut that out. You would like for me to say yes, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, well, that ends the podcast, boys. You guys have a great night.
That is.
We'll just end on that one.
Next question. I think I asked Russ this question. In your opinion, as of right now, who do you think the strongest division in the L.E.D is?
That's honestly a pretty tough question. Obviously, there's bias that goes into it, but I think my division's pretty tough. I don't know if we have the strongest teams, but we're the closest division as far as standings-wise. When you look at the other divisions that you guys are in, I mean, you guys all have pretty loaded teams. Joe's got a loaded team. Sarah's team's pretty good. Matt's team's pretty good. Every division's good. Even, Shaq and Bowen, the records aren't great, but they've got pretty tough teams. So, can't really pick one over the other two. Every division's pretty tough.
So what I didn't hear was an answer on that.
I go with my division. If you
I was getting ready to say that too. Your division.
I don't know what you said, Drew, but I just caught that little smirk. And I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say anything rude that time.
So you mentioned both being a Rams fan and a Chargers fan. Who was your favorite football player growing up?
LeDanian Tomlinson.
That could have been. I could have answered that one.
I know this one.
Yeah, LeDanian Tomlinson. He's actually the only football jersey I have.
That's interesting.
Only one.
Not even Antonio Gates or anything like that.
No, just LT. I need to get some more, but yeah, LeDanian was always my favorite. I could throw a few others that I liked in there, but LeDanian was the top.
I don't know if you guys just saw, we have breaking news that we can't discuss. There's another trade. The second trade of the night went down. We'll have to wait and hold that for next week. But 2 trades in a span of an hour. And this looks like a big 6-player trade that went down between Kellen and Zano live on the podcast.
I did.
Yeah, I've
Seems
got,
like his,
I've got some thoughts on it, but we'll save it.
yeah. About
You
the
shut that mouth. I tried with you, Brendan. Okay.
So, yeah, we'll discuss this trade next week, and we didn't really go into detail before, but Drew made a trade tonight with Bowen. So 2 big trades to discuss on next week's show. Pretty exciting stuff. Trade season's heating up a little later than normal, but it is heating up finally.
It is moving.
Well, I will tell you right now, there has been steady trade talks between me and multiple people today from the hours of 7:45.
PM?
This is by far the hardest to trade.
This year has been
AM.
ridiculous.
Yeah, this year's been really hard to move anybody if you wanted to. Which is good, though. People like their teams, you know?
I don't know if people are just hesitant to trade nowadays.
I think part of the reason is everybody aside from Cody, Mr. 7-0, is all jumbled together within, a game or two of each other. So nobody's really wanting to make any big moves or anything like that.
I mean, I'm of the opinion right now, and I told Kellen this today. He sent out a filler, but I want to make a trade, but I don't know if I should make a trade. Right? I mean, if it's broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, but I did tell Brendan before the show, Drew, that Russ stopped by my office today. Said you were talking to him, and I was like, man, I could. What he told me intrigued me to the point where I was like, I could probably go grab one of those receivers from Drew, but I think I waited too long on that front.
Yeah, like I said, 7:45 it started, and it was kind of throwing fillers. Me and Kellen talked pretty much all day until it kind of just faded away, and then but it's not a bad thing that trades aren't happening. It's just it's very difficult this year because I don't know if people just don't like trading, and so they don't want to make their team worse, or they think that their people are a little more prized possession than other people.
Right.
Can I ask someone?
Yeah.
You ever moving back to North Carolina, or we're gonna have to keep chasing you each time that you have to come to the draft?
No idea. I'm planning on being up here for a little while. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my life will take me, so we'll have to play it by ear.
Well, again, I've told you several times, and I just want to make it publicly known again. I do appreciate you driving down for the draft every year.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's like a huge part of your time to come down here and do that, especially to see a bunch of bums for one day a year. You know?
It's one of the best days of the year. It's an awesome time, and I love doing it. And it's a great league, and just the whole day overall is a lot of fun. So, I mean, get a little longer weekend, and why not drive on down?
Yeah, I mean, it's from at least from my point of view, it's
just imagine how much better this league could be.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm probably lagging again, but I said just imagine how much better this league could be.
He's lagging again, but I think you know where he's going with it, and I could finish it for him. How much better this league would be if Cody wasn't commish? Is that the answer for $500, Trebek? Yep, that was it.
No, at least, I mean, from my perspective, it's so much easier to have the same members year in and year out. Plus, it's building a league history, and then very selfishly, I don't have to go do the legwork of trying to find a new member, put new logos in, and all that stuff. And so, like I said, it's again, we know each other, we get more comfortable with it. So, I appreciate you coming down. I just want to reiterate that. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the best Halloween candy?
Ooh, God, can we all answer that one?
Sure.
Okay.
When I was young, it was Milky Ways.
Ooh.
Love me a Milky Way.
Drew, what you got?
Reese's.
Reese's.
Good one.
Reese's Pieces or just Reese's Cups? He's gone.
I think that question pissed him off.
He's like, fucking not Pieces! You sons of bitches!
Done with this league. It's cups. That's the only answer.
I'm gonna try no camera. See if this works any better.
Okay. That'll work. Just holler at me.
So you said Reese's Puffs, right?
Reese's and
Puffs?
bourbon. No, Reese's and bourbon.
Oh shit.
Reese's and bourbon?
Yeah, great combo.
God, you're an alcoholic.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get some like a,
It's so weird not seeing him. It's just like,
but he sounds great though, doesn't he?
yeah, he sounds a lot
There's no
better. I
lag.
don't know what.
God, you're an alcoholic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your answer, Zano?
I'm not a big chocolate guy. I'm not really. I love big wieners, yes. So if I had to go with it, I'm going to go Oscar Mayer for the win. But no, shit, I love Starburst.
I mean, it seems like my taste got more, or at least got more refined. Like the older I got, I remember I'd be like, one year is like Kit Kats. Like I was hooked on Kit Kats, and then it was I'm a Three Musketeers guy, and then I'll go like Zano. I'm a hard Starburst. So I mean, it's changed over the years, but I think Drew's right. Pound for pound, the best Halloween candy is the Reese's Cup.
You know, when you said your palate got more refined, I really thought you were going something real bizarre like Charleston Chew or some bullshit like that.
Listen,
You went
Cowtail.
Reese's, so it kind of threw me
He
off.
prefers candy corn.
Yeah.
No.
Well, my
Baby
palate got
Ruth
really
Bar.
refined. I like the candy corns.
I prefer a nice chalky taste. In that.
No candy corn.
Now, Zana, I will open up this question to you. You're a little more of a movie guy. Drew, feel free to hop in as well. But Brendan, again, keeping with the Halloween theme, who do you think is the best movie villain?
Oh, God.
All right, so hold on a second before he answers that. Are we talking horror genre only or any genre?
Just movie villain. Who is the best bad guy in movie history?
Ryan Gosling and Barbie. Let's just throw it out
I
there.
haven't seen it.
Okay.
Was he really the villain in that?
No, I don't know. I'll let y'all answer, and I think I
was
might have an answer.
from the clips I've seen, it didn't really seem like he was the villain, just a love-struck Ken doll.
You're not wrong.
But again, I haven't seen the movie, so
No, Zoe wanted to watch it, so we watched it.
Yeah, I'm sure Zoe wanted to watch it. It was probably just you by yourself spanking it.
with the nice
Gosling.
Reese's and bourbon.
Yeah, Reese's and bourbon, just watching Barbie. All right, Brendan, answer the question.
I don't know. I mean, if you're going like classic horror movies, I mean, Dracula's in there.
Wow, I did not see that one coming.
A little classic.
Yeah.
Reaches all audiences.
I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Maybe like if you're going like superhero, maybe like a Loki, something like that. But
And listen, it is whatever. I'm just talking movie villain. It didn't have to be Halloween specific. I'm talking like bad guys.
Yeah.
okay. Until the very end of Whiplash, what's his face? J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
Yeah,
Until-
I've seen that movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of my top 3 movies of all time. It's fantastic.
Zano?
I'm going to have to say Sid from Toy Story.
Okay. Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, Sid Toy Story, yeah, I mean, that was pretty good. Anyway, if I had to pick one, you guys know how I feel about Batman, so obviously I would have to go Joker. And yes, Drew, it's Jared Leto. This is the only Joker that matters.
No.
Really?
Just kidding. It's not. No,
I was
it's
about
not.
to say. I was like,
It's not.
I was about to say.
It's not. I'm torn because
Yes.
I love. See, it's weird. I could go on a whole thing about this.
Best Batman movie, Batman Forever.
Fuck off. I love Mark Hamill's Joker, but that's animated.
Yes.
Jack Nicholson is probably the reason why I like or love the Joker and Batman feud, because that's what I grew up with. But Heath Ledger's hard to beat. That was just an iconic role for him. But I mean, I'd probably go Jack Nicholson, but it's really close between him and Heath.
Drew?
Dr. Evil.
Oh, dude, yes, yes.
Yeah.
See, that's a great take because it's not like he is the bad guy. He is the bad guy, but he's so funny and everybody likes Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
But he is the bad guy. That's a great take, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Gigglesworth.
I am really surprised that no one said it was Darth Vader because Darth
I'm
Vader
not a
is such
Star Wars fan. That's the thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like a personal problem for you.
I'm not big into Star Wars either.
But known far and wide as the bad guy. He's a badass.
He's very iconic. I mean, you really can't go wrong. You could have said Jason, Freddy. I mean, any of those would have worked too. But
If you ask
I'm kinda
Tiffany,
glad
Michael Myers.
what's that?
Oh, dude, yeah.
If you ask Tiffany, Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know this till a couple years ago, but like Tiff is like a huge slasher film buff.
Oh, yeah.
She loves that stuff.
She loves any horror movie. You put it out there, she's watching it.
Now I will say, like, I don't mess with like demons and spirits, man. I don't even want to watch that movie and bring that shit in my house. Like, I don't
You
mess
need
with
to.
that.
Have you guys seen the Ash vs. Evil Dead? Any of those movies or the
It's
show?
a comedy, isn't it?
It's like
Evil Dead.
but it's like a slasher comedy. It's awesome.
I think I might have seen one of them.
It's so.
They
gory.
accidentally kill everybody, right? Something like that.
I'm trying to remember
is it
how
that
ended,
one?
but yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But the movies were like, real low budget, like movies made back in like the 80s and 90s. And
I love 80s movies, just in general.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Any
that was
more
a good
questions?
question. No, that was a good one. I mean, if anybody doesn't have anything else, I think that's a really good one to end on. Honestly, I think that was pretty good.
That's what I was thinking. So, Brennan, you are our guest. We're gonna move on to the trivia portion of this. So, I'm gonna let you decide if you want to go first, or do you want Drew to go first?
You go Drew go first. It's not gonna
All right.
matter. Drew's gonna beat me anyway, but we'll have Drew go first.
All right. If you'd be so kind to remove your headphones so I can ask these questions for Drew, or at least mute the computer. All right.
Brendan, you suck.
All right. We're gonna take him at his word on
I
that.
don't think you
So,
can hear me.
all right, Zane, if you would be so kind as to set 30 seconds on the timer for me. Just for everybody listening, we're gonna have 5 NFL questions. Gonna ask you Drew, and we're gonna get his score, and then can see if Brendan can top it. So, Zane, just let me know when you're ready.
And 30 seconds, right? Or do you want to do?
Yep.
Do you want to do 30? 30's good.
Yeah, 30's good.
Okay. Just let me know when.
All right, and Drew, you ready?
Yep.
All right, and we're gonna start now. Vince Lombardi is most famous for coaching what team?
Green Bay.
How many rounds are in the NFL draft?
7.
There are 4 teams in the NFL named after cats. Name one of them.
15
Panthers.
seconds.
How many teams are in the NFL?
32.
And who has the most passing yards in NFL history?
Peyton Manning.
All right. 5 seconds left on the clock there, big guy.
So there's an opening.
Yeah, right.
Drew got 4 correct. 4 of the 5. So there is a chance. Zane, if you'd be so kind of set 30 more seconds on the clock.
I'm ready whenever you are.
And Brendan, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. And we're starting now. Vince Lombardi is most famous for coaching what team?
Green Bay Packers.
How many rounds are in the NFL draft?
7.
There are 4 teams in the NFL named after cats, so name one of them.
Name one of them.
Yep.
Carolina Panthers.
15 seconds.
How many teams are in the NFL?
32.
Who has the most passing yards in NFL history?
Tom Brady.
And
That's it. He had 2
that was the
seconds
last
left.
one.
I think we're
Well,
both
Brendan?
wrong on the last one.
It is Thomas Bartholomew Brady.
Is it?
It sure
Yeah, he
is.
broke it.
I think he broke it last year, didn't he?
Yeah, with Tampa.
Yep. So Tom Brady currently has 89,214 yards, and in second place is Drew Brees.
Oh,
With
I thought we
80,000.
meant. I thought you said single season. Oh shit! All right. Well, oh, well.
So that was my opening then.
That was your
Yeah, that
opening.
was your
So,
opening.
I still probably
Drew,
lost.
everybody.
Well,
Nope,
isn't
you got-
Peyton?
you got-
You won,
Go
Brendan.
ahead.
You won, Brendan.
I got all of them?
Is
Yeah, you got
isn't
all.
Peyton the single season?
All right. I'll take it.
Single season.
I think
Look
Peyton
that
is
up.
single season, still for touchdowns and yards, I believe.
I don't know why a single season went straight in my head, but
Is it
Yes,
Peyton
you
or
are
is it
correct.
Breeze?
Nope. Drew's right. It's Peyton Manning with 5,477 yards. He set that in 2013 with the Broncos.
Yep.
good job, Brendan.
Hey, appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Now I just need to, turn that into a LED championship. That'd be good.
Yep. As I stated, the win does not count towards your LED record. So,
Yeah.
You should make that a separate stat on the website. Trivia questions answered correctly.
well, if the old LED podcast makes it as season 1, we'll certainly consider that.
I mean, I think we're going to get renewed for another season.
Yeah,
I mean, Drew's going to be the leader because he does it every time. But
to get back on track here, we're going to move over to week 8, and we're going to pick a game of the week. And I have a feeling I know what it's going to be, but I'm going to give the floor to you guys and let you figure out what week 8 game of the week's going to be.
I got to glance over them real quick.
I like 4 versus 5, which is Kellen and Drew. I like that one.
If there's playing for like playoff seeding, then yeah, for me and Kellen, it's gonna be a good one. But obviously, there's a 6-1 versus 7-0 out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to pick the obvious one. But
I was going to say there's probably 3 or 4 of them that you could pick.
You also have a battle for last place going on.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, if we're just throwing out one, I don't like to be biased, and I never like to pick myself, but I think it's kind of a big game against me and Kellen, so I'll pick me and Kellen.
Yeah, that one definitely stands out to me the most. 1 versus 2, I don't think it's going to hurt you guys whether you win, Cody, or Joe wins. I think you guys are okay. So that's why I'm not putting a lot of weight on it. I think the 4-5 matchup can put a lot of weight on something. Hell, even Brendan, even your matchup, man, that can be scary because you never know with Matt's team year in and year out. They can beat you when you don't expect them to. So
Right.
that could be a scary one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and your matchup too with Russ, I think that would be a good one too. I mean, there's a lot of matchups this week that have potential playoff implications. So, I mean, it's hard to pick one, but I would like to see no more undefeated teams. So, Joe taking down Cody over here would be pretty good.
I tell you right now, it is beaming in Joe's body to beat Cody.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And you know the first thing out of his mouth if he loses, collusion.
Collusion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially if he
coming.
loses in some kind of way that's not supposed to lose, then you know he's going collusion all the way.
Yeah. Whoever wins, I hope it's just by a wide margin. At least like no doubt. You know, if Joe just fucking steamrolls me, that's fine. But if I win, I'd want to steamroll him too. Because if it gets too close, he'll start shouting collusion.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it matters if you steamroll him or not. He's going to yell collusion if he loses.
yeah,
He might even do it. Even if he wins, he might still do it.
when he stops shouting collusion, I'm gonna start being worried that I have done something to upset him.
Yes.
Yeah, the second he stops talking is the second you need to worry.
I mean, even Bowen and Sarah, that's a good matchup too. So, I mean, there's just good matchups all across the league this week.
I was going to say, I think Zano said it, the Peeping Tomlinsons player haters match. That's a matchup for the final playoff spot at the moment. Now, granted, we're week 8, so there's a lot of football left to be played, but getting that record built up because you both are sitting at you have him because you have the division win. You were 2-1 in the division, and he is 1-2. So if he gets a win over you, he's still going to jump in front of you. So that's something to consider as well.
I got a feeling you'll see Matt make a trade here within the next day or two.
Is that because you're working on him?
No. Because if you look at his team, he's got both Bijan and Algier starting again.
Yeah, he's got to do something with that running back.
He can't have both Atlanta running backs going. And then he has 3 Jacksonville players. So, I mean, he's living on the edge right now.
Yeah, and then who knows what's going to happen with Olave. He just got arrested last night.
Yeah,
I did see that. He's an NFL player. He got a bop on the hand.
Did you see the video?
I didn't know the video.
My bad. I played for the Saints. And the cop goes, and?
Good stuff. Well, gentlemen, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah. So next week, just really quickly, like we touched on earlier, 2 trades that we cannot discuss this week, and we're going to have to discuss next week when we get all back to this and do it all again. Next week is, I think, the halfway point, is it not, Cody? Or we reached 30 halfway?
I actually think tomorrow is the official halfway point. It'll be Wednesday, the halfway point. So there are 14 games. So
yeah, it's crazy that we're already halfway through the season. Anyway, but yeah, next week same thing. We'll do the exact same thing. Talk about, pending on whether or not we have a guest. We'll talk about matchups and all that good jazz that we've been talking about before. If any more trades happen this week, which Drew alluded to already, that there may be some movement with a particular team that needs a little bit of help, but not a lot. I mean, he's still winning games with the team he's got right now. So outside of that, I think that's really about it.
No, I got one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Zano, my bone to pick with you.
Oh, yeah, let's hear this. Yeah.
You have been rooting so hard for Bowen all season. The 1 week you don't say his name is when he's playing me. So that loss is on you.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not going to bring him up ever again. And maybe he'll win out and destroy everybody in the playoffs and become the first ever princess to winning a championship.
I hope not, because that means I lose.
That's true. I mean, that means everybody in this podcast loses. Which, if Bowen wins, couldn't happen to a better guy. I love Bowen to death, and that's why I'm stopped rooting for his team, because I feel like I put a massive hex on his team every week.
We just rooted for him out loud. So sorry, Bowen. Probably lost this week.
Oh, and just one more thing before we leave. I didn't want Cody to feel like he'd be the only one to get somebody to come on this podcast, so I nailed somebody for next week. Does anybody want to take a stab on who I got?
Bowen.
No. It is the defending champion. Kellen Williams will be on the podcast next week.
All right.
Very nice.
This is great. Like, I love having guests on. This is the best. Like, line them up. We need to book it like 2 weeks
so
out.
Next week, if you're listening this far into the podcast, Kellen is our week 8 guests for next week's podcast. So hopefully you tune in and listen to that. But other than that, that's all I got. At least I got somebody, so I don't want to hear Cody complaining about who the person that gets people. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, that's it. Unless somebody's got something else to add to it.
Nope, I'm good. Brendan, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, Brendan, I appreciate it, man. Always good seeing you.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Until next time, see you guys later. Peace.
Later.
Peace.